Hey guys, welcome to Face to Face Friday. My name is Robyn Schmidt. I am one of the owners of Bath Biz and Foam. And today we're going to make some Wonder Bar frosting. I'm laughing like I threw myself off. I have everything here ready. I've been ready for like 10 minutes. I'm like really proud of myself. But like I was like ready to go and I pushed play and I was like, oh, I don't have gloves. So then I ran to get gloves and then that, like, anyway. So we're going to make some Wonder Bar frosting today. And I'm going to start off by heating my cocoa butter up. And then that'll give people a chance to get on too. So I have all my dry ingredients actually already ready. And they're here in my mixer. And then I have my liquid, wet ingredients right here. And I will add them in as soon as that cocoa butter is melted. Then we'll add all that into here. And then we will gradually add more and more rubbing alcohol until we get to the texture that we want, which is frosting. And Lena says, Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Everybody's here. I'm here on time. So last week, okay. That was only 30 seconds. So let's get this guys some more time. So last week I had for Scandalous Soap, I had somebody who wanted a custom soap. So I was like, okay, let's schedule it for 11. And then in my brain, I was thinking like, okay, let's schedule it for 11. And then that gives me an hour before 12 before I have to start my face-to-face Friday. Which, like, that does not give me an hour. That's an hour from 12. 11 is an hour from 12. But, like, that doesn't give me an hour to prepare. And, like, yeah. I did that last week. So then, when I got done with... Oh, no. All my spatulas are next door. No, wait. I have one in here. Oh, thank gosh. Thank gosh. I just made frosting with it, so it's fine. Drizzle, sprinkles. I was making sprinkles. Yeah. So anyway, I'm like mildly dyslexic. Okay, I'm mildly dyslexic. It's uploaded. It's not done yet, is it? Which is part of why like I have right and left tattooed on my hands, so I can tell my left from my right. But like one of the worst things for me is time. Like time is like really hard for me to like. I'm like terrible with time and. Like, number one, I can't read a watch. It has to be digital. And then, like, I'm just terrible when it comes to, like, knowing that 1 hour doesn't, 1 hour starts and another stops and stuff like that. I don't know why that's such a struggle for me. My doctor, she always jokes, like, I'm either a week early but on time. Or I'm a day 25 hours late. Like I'm a day and an hour late. So like I'll come in the day after my appointment and be like, I'm so sorry I'm late. Traffic was bad. And they're like, girl, your appointment was yesterday. Okay? Your appointment was yesterday. So. Okay. Anyway, so that's why I was late last week. So, also, I wanted to tell you guys before I forget. I meant to tell y'all this last week, but where's my Dr. Pimple Popper fans? If you are into that like poppin' thing, okay? I found a new YouTube channel that like I'm obsessed with, and it's because I was on Horse Talk, like. TikTok for horses with horse stuff. Don't ask me how. I don't have a horse. I've never had a horse. I will never own a horse. They're cool, but like I'm not a horse girl. So I don't know why I was like obsessed with horses for a minute on TikTok watching them. And anyway, it's called the Hoof GP. The Hoof GP, like the hoof general practitioner. And this guy like goes around and he makes cows' feet better. And he's like super cute. I think he's from over the other side of the ocean. I don't know if he's Scottish or Irish or Welsh. He kind of sounds like Welsh, but like, I don't know. I'm speaking on that from like, with like zero knowledge, okay? Like everything I know about England comes from Harry Potter and Sherlock Holmes. So like, I know that I'm not necessarily the person to talk to about this, but I'm just saying, he's really cute. You should look him up. The hoof GP, like GP. Okay, so I have all my liquid ingredients here, and I'm going to use a fragrance oil today called Tobacco Vanille. And I really like this fragrance, but it does discolor. So I'm going to add this in here, but I'm going to show you some of the discoloration that we're talking about. So let me add this in here. And I'll let that start mixing, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with the discoloration and why. So in soap, this discolors to a really dark tan, like a really dark tan. And the cool thing about bath bombs and Bubble Bar is that even though things do discolor, it's not going to discolor to the same like degree or level that things discolor in cold process soap. And so, you know, there's all kinds of reasons why fragrance oils discolor, but like that's usually one of the most common. Like when you just start making bath bombs and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make cake batter bath bombs, and then they end up having that has like a ton of vanilla, and then you get brown speckles, and you're like, is it molding? What's going on? Like that's like, if that happened to you, you're not alone. A lot of people do that. So I have these bath bombs that they were older. They were just kind of old, and they have tobacco vanilla in them, and it's like, can you see the discoloration? Not really. Like when it was whole, you could kind of see the brown flecks in it, but as I put it into milkshake containers, you can't tell that it has discoloration, in my opinion. If I did add it, if I left this white, that's what I'm trying to say. If I left this white, it would discolor to like a tan, the frosting on the top. So it would discolor to a tan. But like in a bath bomb, it's not going to like turn it all the way dark brown. So like you couldn't count on it to like make it brown for you, number one. Like you still have to create a brown. And number two, like it's not that bad. Like I just go with it. I just go with it. So, but in a Bubble Bar, it would definitely discolor that. And just make it like a light tan. So I'm thinking, hear me out. I'm thinking I'm going to make this frosting black, right? Because it'll go with the green and black. That'll be a good Halloween thing. So I'm going to make the frosting black. I'm going to add just like a tiny bit of black mica, even though I don't normally do that because I don't like mica in my bath products, but I'll sometimes do it. Just to like hold the colors fast. And then I have some really cute sprinkles to show you. And then we're going to talk about sprinkles, okay? Oh, I know I'm like way more excited about that than I probably should be. But yeah, it's true. I'm excited. Okay, so to make a black, I'm going to do equal parts of Red 40. Lake. I'm using Lakes. And since Wonder Bar has polysorbate 80 in it, even it's just a tiny amount of polysorbate 80, I've never had it like sting. So even just that tiny amount helps a ton. So 2 parts blue 1. And this is a ½ teaspoon. And this is a regular full-size batch of Wonder Bar. I'm using my good measuring spoons from my kitchen. I'm going to have to buy some new ones that I saw some at Hobby Lobby that I almost got because they had pink candles. But like my husband can't tell the difference between my home ones and like the ones that go in the house and then the ones that come into the soap room. So these are the ones that come into the soap room. And this is my house one Like you can see this is like steel. This is like a lot nicer. So it's here now though. You know what I'm saying? I had to actually, I almost never use like scoops like this, but I've been doing all these like YouTube videos where I'm doing like the crazy recipes from Pinterest, and I need like, I need teaspoons in here all of a sudden. I need like, you know, things that I don't usually use. So normally I would also add red 27 to this, but I'm running really low on red 27, so I want to hang on to that. This will still make a black though. It just might not be like as jet black as I want it to be, but since I'm going to add some black mica, I think we're going to be okay. And I guess I can add my black mica right now. And I'm going to add the same amount of black mica. So it's 2 parts red, 2 parts black, 2 parts red, 2 parts red, 2 parts blue, 1 part yellow 5, 1 part yellow 6. Let's see what happens with that. And I left out the red 27 this time because I'm just being stingy. I'm running low on it, okay? Hey, Danielle. What's up, girl? So Danielle got me hooked on this Instagram account called Sprinkle Robot. You should totally look them up. It's really cool. She makes amazing sprinkles. Lots of inspiration, especially as we're going into our holiday boot camp where we're going to have what's called like expanded sprinkles or the advanced sprinkles. So we're going to have like more sprinkle stuff, more sprinkle content for you. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. It does have like a little bit bluish tint on the screen, but right here visually it looks good. I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol first before I add any more color, and that will wet it up, and we'll see where we're at. And I didn't measure this, but this was a brand new bottle. Like I took the seal off right before I started. So if we want to, I can get another bottle and we can compare the weight. Like if you guys really want to know how much I actually put in here. You probably do. You probably do want to know that, right? Hey, Ledge, Michigan? Grand Ledge, Michigan. TGIF from Grand Ledge, Michigan. What's up, Michigan? How's it going? Okay. All right. So, that's a pretty good black. That's a pretty good black. Even without the red 27, that is a pretty good black. If I don't say so myself. It does have like a slightly greenish, bluish tint to it, because it was heavier on the yellows, right? If I wanted to, I could add like another scoop of red 40 if I really felt like it needed that, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's gonna work. It'll be fine. One of the other things about Wonder Bar is I really try to give it like a lot of time to mix. And I'm just checking right now to make sure. You know, sometimes on these KitchenAids, it gets like a little spot. Oh, dude. It gets like a little spot where it like won't do its thing. You know what I'm talking about? How that happens with Wonder Bar. Lena says, can I leave a link for the sprinkles page? Oh, for inspiration. That's a good, yes. Did I not do that last week? I probably didn't, because yeah, I'll do that. It's like such a cool little page. And she has like another page that I follow. I cannot remember the name of it. I can try to look it up and see if I can find it. Where she actually uses the sprinkles on cookies, so you can see like how she's actually like applying them, because you know, a fancy sprinkle, it's going to be a little bit different than like a regular sprinkle. So if you know anything about baking, like sometimes bakers do like what's called a cookie transfer. So they'll like pipe royal icing first on parchment paper and then transfer it to a cookie, so you can do kind of layered techniques or kind of more advanced designs. So I mean, what I like about it is like you could dip a plain round bath bomb and then just put one fancy sprinkle on it and you're done. You don't have to do what frosting and all this other stuff, you know? Yeah. I am getting high off this Robyn alcohol right now. It is strong because I'm like standing right there under it. So wow, it's like strong. And it says yes right at the bottom of the bowl. I know, it's so annoying, right? When you can't get down in there. Okay, so this right now is pretty much what I would consider pressing texture. It's actually maybe more scooping texture. So I can get, if I were to use it right now, I could stick my scoop in there and I would get like that perfect ice cream scoop thing. Okay, but that's not what I want. That's not what I want. So I'm gonna keep going. I used to have this friend, I mean, she's still my friend, but I have a friend, she's from Louisiana, and she says, want. Like I want to go to the store. And she spells, I want to do that, W-O-N-T. W-O-N-T, want. She's super cute. Actually, I met her when I lived in Alaska. I was at a party. And I don't know, if you're like from the South, there's a very distinct, like, even though I don't sound Southern most of the time, it's like comforting to hear like Southern accents because it's home. And so I was like at a party and I've been hearing like so many of the Northern voices and the Northern accents for like so long, and I was like so tired of it. And like out of nowhere, I hear this chick from like across the house yelling, y'all. And I was like, who are you? Who are you? Jesus, guide me. And I went and I found her and we became best friends. Because I was like, I need this Southerner here while I'm up in the Great North. Okay, so this point, I would say it's probably pipeable. Probably pipeable. I still think it's like too thick. It's hard to tell because it's black. But it does kind of look like mashed potatoes, right? It's still too thick, in my opinion. So I'm just going to add a little bit more rubbing alcohol. If, though, I have done before where, like, I walked away and let it mix. And if you have time, you can experiment with this because I'm not, like, 100% sure, like, how accurate this is or if it works every time, but like I've had times before where I just walk away and leave it mixing and come back and it's like super ready to go. So it might be that like you don't need as much if you mix it longer. I don't know, but I'm on a live, so it's like I'm not gonna mix that long, you know. Oh, why do I not have my scrapulas in here today? Okay, we are going to take that back to my house in a little bit. Okay, we're going to move all this over. I'm going the wrong direction when I was going the other way. Okay, we're gonna move all this over. Okay, and we're going to try to put it in a piping bag and see how it does. If it's not thin enough yet, if I didn't add enough rubbing alcohol, which I think it's good, but if it's not, and I was trying to squeeze it and it was like really hard and it was coming out like cracked and it wasn't coming out smooth and beautiful like I want it to, I could just squeeze it out and pop it back in the mixer and add more rubbing alcohol. So there's a lot of freedom with this recipe. That's why we call it Wunderbar. You know what I'm saying? Because it's wonderful. All right, so I have a piping bag here and I have a tip. This is a 1M tip. It's like pretty much my favorite frosting piping tip. Is a 1M tip because it's like a closed star. It makes really nice. It actually was an open star, I think, and I like squished it closed. I don't know. There's one of my piping tips that I did that to, and I really like it now. I can't remember which one it was. Okay. So it does, I mean, it does feel a little bit thick. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here first, and then we'll see where we're at. Usually for me, one batch of Wunderbar is enough to frost 4 milkshake bath bombs. So, like I said, these milkshakes, quote unquote, it's just bath bombs that were like old. They were old. They were not like, they weren't going to sell because they were like spotty, because the fragrance oil had made them look a little bit spotty. And they just weren't going to sell. So I was like ready to be done with them. And so I put them in these milkshake things. I crushed them up and put them in these. And now they have a second life, you know? All right, let's give this guy a shot and see what happens. So I am going to spray the top of this really quick with just like a little bit of rubbing alcohol, just that helps the Wonder Bar stick to it. And I'm going to start, oh, it's thick. It might be too thick. Oh yeah, it's too thick. And I said I was going to put just a little bit in, and then y'all let me go pack a whole bag. Y'all let me pack a whole dat-gum bag. Y'all didn't stop me. Y'all didn't say, hey, you said you were only going to put a little bit in there. No, you did not. That's okay, though. I'm not going to blame you for my choices. As my friend used to say to me, poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. As a smart woman. Okay. God. Well, that's cute. All right, take my piping tip out of there because I don't want to pipe with it. I mean, I don't want to mix it in. Retrieve my, or just use a clean one since it's now in the dirties. Bring this guy back over here and we're going to try it again, okay? All right. See, my dad is from New York, so I can actually, I will sometimes slip into Yankee and Southern. Like, I have a very, like they say, y'all guys. Like you guys, but also y'all guys. Sue says, how did I crush them up? I probably smashed them, and then a lot of times I will use a sieve, which I can't find. It's like slightly more open. Oh, here it is. It's like a slightly more open sieve so that the particles can go through it. If you use, like, this one is a really fine one, and particles can't go through that. So that can help it, like, you know, get all the way through there. Okay, now I think we're looking good. Honestly, you pretty much can't add too much rubbing alcohol. I know I've said that before, and I don't think, like, people believe me, but, like, I tried one time, because we have our drizzle recipes that are coming out, and so I was like, hey, you know, that'd be really cool if Wonder Bar could be a drizzle, right? Because then it could, like, literally do everything. So I tried to turn Wonder Bar into a drizzle, and, like, I added, like, almost a full bottle of rubbing alcohol, and it still was not at, it was, like, at a slurry, but it still wasn't at a drizzle, and it was, like, so much rubbing alcohol that it wasn't even cute anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it can be done. It can be done, but it's like, it's so hard to add too much. So, like, don't be afraid that you're going to add too much. It's really hard to do that, to be honest. And I don't know, I only have a little tiny bag available now. I got problems, I'm sorry. I got 99 problems, and frosting is actually one of them, okay? I'm gonna have to, like, refill this bag a couple times because he's dinky. He's just a little guy. It's not his fault. He's just born small. Y'all, this is funny, okay? So speaking of funny, speaking of funny, I do we have the WTF Wednesdays on our YouTube, and those have been doing pretty good. Getting the views. But I have three more lined up, and possibly a fourth. I might do a fourth today. So that way, during the boot camp, we still can have, like, when I'm out of town, I'm in Florida for the boot camp, we can still have content posting on that YouTube. But the three for sure are ways to make bath bombs without citric acid. Bath bombs. Oh, look at that. Much better, right? Okay, so I'm just going to do like a small little guy, because I'm going to put this on, and I don't want it to be too big because I have all these cute sprinkles. Okay, I do have to take these gloves off, unfortunately. I have all these cute sprinkles. Let me show you the sprinkles real quick. So I have like a Halloween mix that I've already made. That's pre-made. Black, orange, purple, and green. Then I have these like dark purple like hexagons made with the silicone mat. So these are piped. These are made with the silicone mat. This was also made with the mat. So these are like little tiny eyeballs. And I wish I had done some green eyeballs, but I didn't. So I only have blue eyeballs. And these are little tiny bones. Little tiny bones that I piped with the fancy sprinkle template. So we're going to just put a bunch of these on here because I want this to be like a spooky Halloween vibey topping on here. So let's put a couple more eyeballs. Let's put another eyeball over there. Let's put another bone. Do another bone over here. Okay, cute, right? Okay, now I'm gonna put the lid on it. And you can put the lid on it right away and it will dry and it'll be fine. You can leave the lid off if you want, but I like to put the lid on at least, like if you don't want to keep the lid on because you think it'll like inhibit the drying, that's fine. But at least make sure that the lid will close down on it, okay? Because I've had before where like I waited too long and then the frosting was dried, and then when I went to put the lid on it, it was like solid and then it crushed it, and it was just like not, made me sad. It made me sad in my heart. So at least test it and make sure that the lid can fit on it if you want to leave the lid off, okay? There we go, another one. Oh, cute, cute, right? This time I'm gonna start with the sprinkle mix because I feel like I didn't do a good job on it last time. See, you could stop there, that'd be cute. But are we gonna stop there? No ma'am, no ma'am, we are not. Okay, then we're gonna add our eyeballs. Okay, there's one eyeball. Let's add another eyeball over here. Another one right here. Add one up here on the top. And then add some bones. Got a bone. Got a bone. I'm gonna do one more bone like right there. That looks good. Cute, right? Okay, two more. I might have enough to do one more without having to refill it. And then I have a crap ton of frosting left over. So I have to think of something to do with it. Usually I have like a plan. I'm like, and with this extra frosting, I'm gonna do this amazing thing. But I don't have a plan for it today. I don't have a plan for it today, sorry. I mean, I could leave that just like that and I would be like, I would die a happy person. That looks amazing. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna add this. Okay, add some of these. Just from our texture, add our eyeballs. One eyeball. So these eyeballs are actually a silicone, I found a silicone mat that was for like, I don't know, I'll have to pull it out. It was massive. And it made like these like tiny, like, I guess they're supposed to be candies. And I just used it to make eyeballs. And I thought that that was super cute. So here you go. Let's put one more bone out. I like the bones. I'm like particularly fond of the bones. Yeah. Okay, so one more. I'm going to have to fill this piping bag and like try not to get this all over my hands. So yeah, so what I was saying was that I have some more YouTube videos coming up where I'm making bath bombs. I feel like that's a very, very generous term for what I made. Okay? Following 3 different techniques to make bath bombs without citric acid. Because I know the price of citric acid is insane right now, which is why I'm showing you like, hey, reuse your old bath bombs. If they're discolored, reuse them. Do not toss them. Okay, reuse them. Throw some Wonder Bar on top of it. You don't need citric acid for Wonder Bar. Make your own sprinkles. You don't need citric acid to make your sprinkles. You know, there's like other things that you can do and just like extend the life of those things, because the price of citric acid is really high right now, and hopefully it'll go back down, but like at the moment it's very high. And I just know that there are going to be a bunch of people who are going to start trying to this is why we wear gloves, people. There's going to be a bunch of people who are going to try to DIY that crap and make bath bombs without citric acid. And I'm guessing that from my current attitude towards my creations that I make, that you can tell basically how it goes. Okay. So you can probably tell how it goes. And that thing just farted on me. You can probably tell how it goes just from my like current reactions, but so that's coming up. But if you guys are interested in, you know, making other suggestions for things you'd like to see, I definitely am down for that. But yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. ATM at the moment. Okay, now I'm going to add my eyeballs. These are so cute. So I know that there are like Wilton eyeballs that you can get this time of year. But like, why? I mean, you can make your own, and you can make them any color you wanted, and you have all the ingredients, right? Okay, now some bones. Okay. Cute, right? Oh, that one looks like he's an actual monster right there. That's cute. Okay, so I'm gonna put the lid on this. I'll have to think of something to do with all this leftover Wonder Bar. That's like a lot. I'll think about it. I'll have to think about it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see if there's some questions real quick as I go through. Mom Smith says that she watched one of my YouTube videos. Thank you. Lena says that you remember when rubbing alcohol was really hard to get. Yes, we've gone through these fluctuations with handmade stuff, so that's fine. It's normal. That happens. If you can hold off, like don't, good God, don't pay, like, because the lowest price I found right now is still double what we were paying, and it's not even going to be available until October, so we don't even know. So yeah, I mean, if you can hold off, then just hold off. Otherwise, you know, there's like other projects, like we have the lotion bars, we have the butter bombs. Those are amazing. You can fill those with whatever you want, and they don't have any citric acid in them necessarily. So there's like other options out there, you know, so you don't have to just like completely quit stopping. You don't have to quit stopping your stuff that you're doing. And then Carrie asked, what's all the loose powder in this cups? It's just bath bomb. It's like failed bath bombs, or they were old and I crumbled them up and put them in this cup. And yeah, that's those. I think that I caught most of the other questions before that. And so I will include links, and I'll make sure to include a link for the sprinkle robot lady. And then if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and ask, and I'll try to come back and answer. And as always, happy making.